What is up, gearheads? Stop whatever you are doing and look at the screen, because I am absolutely losing my mind today. The rumors, the spy shots, and the leaked images have been tearing across the internet like wildfire, and they are all pointing to one terrifying reality for Western automakers. We are looking at a massive futuristic SUV that carries the heavy, dominant presence of a $200,000 Range Rover, but somehow costs less than a moderately equipped Ford Explorer. And here is the absolute kicker that is making my American blood boil. Our neighbors up in Canada might be getting their hands on this exact machine very, very soon, while we are completely locked out. Honestly, I am beyond furious. We are sitting here getting robbed blind by dealership markups, completely missing out on what is basically a 6-seater, full-size rolling luxury yacht. We are talking about an absolute weapon that packs nearly 600 horsepower, can drive for almost 1,000 miles without ever stopping, and possesses an autonomous AI brain that processes a mind-bending 3,000 trillion calculations every single second. I'm not exaggerating for YouTube clicks. The technology packed into this Chinese spaceship is so far ahead of the outdated, clunky legacy metal we are currently forced to drive that it genuinely feels illegal. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's take a massive, excruciatingly detailed walk around the XPeng GX, the most insane SUV ever built. Because I promise you, by the end of this video, you are going to want to pack your bags, sell your house, and move straight to Toronto. Let's start by looking at the front end, because the styling on this thing is a massive, unapologetic flex. If you look at most American SUVs today, they just look artificially angry, with giant grills trying to swallow the road. But the XPeng GX? It looks like a high-tech stormtrooper wearing a custom-tailored tuxedo. They designed this entirely around a robot face aesthetic, and it is unbelievably clean. There is no fake, cheap plastic venting. There is no massive, hideous grille trying to compensate for anything. It is just sleek, aerodynamic, and violently premium. Right across the hood, you have this ultra-slim, full-width integrated LED light bar. Now, I know light bars are becoming a trend over here, but this one is completely different. When you unlock the car, it doesn't just blindly flick on, it wakes up. The light sweeps across the front fascia in this incredibly smooth, fluid animation that looks exactly like a Cylon scanning the perimeter from Battlestar Galactica. It is gorgeous. And if you look closely at the lower fascia, it is completely smooth. Why? Because unlike almost every other high-end EV on the market right now, the XPeng GX doesn't use LiDAR. Yeah, you heard me right. While American and European tech companies are strapping these ugly, clunky laser boxes to the roofs of their cars that make them look like NYC taxi signs, XPeng went with a pure vision, camera-only setup. The cameras and sensors are tucked away and integrated so perfectly into the minimalist front end that you wouldn't even know this thing is a Level 4 autonomous driving prototype. It is exactly that kind of obsessive, clean sheet engineering design that makes me so incredibly jealous. Let's move to the side profile, because the stance of this SUV is basically a masterclass in modern heavyweight proportions. It is over 5.2 meters long. For my American folks, that is well over 207 inches. We are firmly in Chevy Tahoe and GMC Yukon territory here, but it entirely avoids that chunky, top-heavy, boxy look of an American family hauler. It has this proud, upright nose, a slightly tapering, elegant roofline, and a brutally strong, muscular shoulder line. From a side profile, this thing gives off incredibly heavy Range Rover vibes. The blacked-out C and D pillars visually lighten the roofline so it looks like the roof is just magically floating above the glass. It is elegant. It doesn't scream for your attention, it just completely commands it. You've got these massive, aerodynamic forged wheels that fill the arches perfectly, designed specifically to cut through the air and reduce drag. And tucked right behind those massive wheels, you get aviation-grade braking hardware that can stop this 6,300-pound behemoth from 60 miles per hour in just 112 feet. That ranks it among the top-performing full-size SUVs in the entire world. And we absolutely have to talk about the doors. Thick, double-pane acoustic glass, completely flush door handles. You walk up, and they glide out silently to greet you. You walk away, and they completely tuck back in to keep the aerodynamic drag coefficient absolutely flawless. Look at the stance when it is parked, because this thing sits on an advanced dual-chamber air suspension system. When you put it in park, the entire car literally lowers itself down to the ground. It crouches down low, like an apex predator waiting for you to get in. Look, I love my American V8 cars, I really do. But when was the last time a 3-row family hauler from Detroit gave you genuine chills just by sitting completely still in a grocery store parking lot? Let's check out the rear, because you are definitely not ready for the execution they pulled off here. The back of the XPeng GX is wide, aggressively planted, and looks ridiculously expensive. You have another full-width LED light bar that perfectly mirrors the front, keeping the visual clutter completely down to zero. There are no tacky fake chrome badges. There are no embarrassing fake plastic exhaust tips. The roofline swoops down into a clean, integrated aerodynamic spoiler. They went so far as to completely hide the rear wiper up underneath that spoiler so it doesn't ruin the smooth, uninterrupted flow of the rear glass. Alright, but looking good in a parking lot is only half the battle, right? What happens when you actually step your foot on the pedal? Well, prepare to have your feelings deeply hurt. The XPeng GX isn't just fast, it is a literal technological cheat code. They give you 2 powertrain options, a pure electric BEV version and an extended range electric ERV version. Let's talk about the pure electric one first, because it is an absolute monster. You are getting a dual motor, all-wheel drive setup running on a highly advanced 800-volt mixed silicon carbide platform. It pushes out 430 kilowatts. That is 585 horsepower and nearly 700 newton meters of instant torque. When you put your foot down, there is no engine lag. There is no waiting for a transmission to downshift. It is just instant, brutal, dead silent acceleration that violently pins you to your seat and makes your passengers immediately reevaluate all their life choices. But the speed isn't even the most impressive part of the EV. It's the charging. On a 5C ultra-fast charger, the pure electric GX can go from 10% battery to 80% in roughly 12 minutes. Let me repeat that. 12 minutes. You can barely walk to the bathroom and buy a pack of beef jerky at a gas station in 12 minutes. In ideal conditions, it can add 300 to 400 kilometers of range in a single 10-minute coffee break. It completely destroys the entire concept of range anxiety. But what if you are the type of guy who really hates stopping? That brings us to the extended range version, and this is where it gets crazy. This version uses a massive 63 kilowatt-hour battery combined with a 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine. But here is the trick. That engine only acts as a portable onboard generator. The engine never actually drives the wheels. It just sits there, efficiently charging the battery, while the 210 kilowatt front motor and the 160 kilowatt rear motor do all the actual driving. The result? You get 430 kilometers, about 267 miles, of pure electric-only range for your daily city commute. But with a fully charged battery and a full tank of gas, the combined driving range is an earth-shattering 1,585 kilometers. That is nearly 1,000 miles of continuous driving. You could literally drive this massive tank from New York City all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida, without ever stopping for gas or plugging it in. Has anyone from Ford or GM management seen this? Because if they haven't, they need to take notes incredibly fast. All right, take a deep breath, because we are about to step inside the cabin, and I promise you, the interior of the XPeng GX is going to make you want to throw your current car keys straight into the nearest river. When you open that heavy, soft closing door and slide into the cabin, you are instantly transported to a futuristic VIP airport lounge. There is no cheap, scratchy, hollow plastic anywhere. Literally everything your hand naturally touches is wrapped in incredibly soft Nappa leather or high-end soft-touch materials. Let's talk about the tech, because it is completely impossible to ignore. Right in front of the driver, you don't just get a boring digital gauge cluster, you get a massive augmented reality heads-up display that basically spans the entire width of the windshield. It literally projects your 3D navigation arrows and hazard warnings 20 meters down the road in front of you, flawlessly blending digital graphics with the real physical world. Spanning across the center is a massive, ultra-high resolution floating display. The user interface is visually stunning. The animations are buttery smooth, and it runs an AI-based smart cockpit system that seamlessly integrates with your smart home. But the next part actually shocked me as a car guy. If you look closely at the steering wheel, you'll realize this car is equipped with Bosch's next-generation steer-by-wire system. There is absolutely no physical metal steering column connecting your hands to the front wheels. It is entirely digital, and because of that, combined with the extreme active rear-wheel steering, this 5.2-meter-long monster has a turning radius of just 5.4 meters. Bro, that is smaller than the turning radius of a compact Honda Civic. You can pull a flawless U-turn on a tight two-lane road in a vehicle the size of a Chevy Tahoe. That is literal black magic. Now let's talk about the seats, because calling these things seats is a complete insult. XPeng didn't try to cram a useless, cramped 7th seat in the back just for marketing. Instead, they gave you a 2+2+2 layout. That means 6 individual massive captain's chairs. Every single seat in the first and second rows is heavily bolstered, wrapped in premium perforated leather, and comes fully loaded with intense heating, cooling ventilation, and deep multi-point massage functions. You can be cruising silently down the highway at 75 miles per hour while the car literally needs the stress and tension entirely out of your lower back. Let's move to the back, because the entertainment setup for the passengers is completely out of hand. XPeng installed a massive 21.4-inch TV-like rear screen that motorized folds down directly from the roof. Your kids or your extremely wealthy VIP clients can watch movies, stream shows, or play console-quality games in stunning high definition. And the luxury touches simply do not stop there. You get a quad-zone climate control system, so almost everyone gets their own personalized temperature bubble. You get massive, fast wireless charging pads up front. The ambient lighting system wraps around the entire cabin, pulsing and beautifully changing colors based on the climate temperature or the beat of the music. And speaking of music, the double acoustic glass and the insanely quiet electric motors mean the cabin is dead, vault-like silent. So when you turn up that massive surround sound system, it doesn't just play music, it completely envelops you. It feels like you are sitting inside a high-end Tokyo nightclub at midnight. The absolute attention to detail is staggering. The door panels, the floating center console, the hidden storage compartments, everything is meticulously designed to make you feel like you just spent $250,000. But let's be real, at the end of the day, a massive SUV needs to do massive SUV things. If you can't fit your kids, your camping gear, and your bulk Costco groceries in it, it's just a useless, oversized tech toy. Well, the GX completely dominates here too. Let's look at that third row. In most American and European SUVs, the third row is a literal punishment box. It's where you throw the kids you like the least. But because the GX has a ridiculous 3,135mm wheelbase, the third row has actual usable, real-world adult legroom. You don't have to fold yourself into a human pretzel to sit comfortably back there. Furthermore, there are ISOFIX child seat anchor points everywhere, even all the way back in the third row. The cargo space is absolutely cavernous. Even with all 6 seats up, you have plenty of room for airport luggage. But fold those back rows down and you could literally throw a full-size air mattress back here. Turn on the camp mode climate control, look up through the massive panoramic glass roof at the stars, and sleep in total luxury. Need even more room? Oh wait, it's an EV, so you also get a massive frunk, a front trunk under the hood. It is absolutely perfect for hiding your muddy hiking boots or sweaty gym bags. It is the ultimate grocery getter, the ultimate cross-country road trip machine, and the ultimate VIP transport, all rolled into one insanely capable vehicle. Okay, gearheads, we have finally reached the absolute moment of truth. We have a 5.2-meter, full-size luxury SUV. It has 585 horsepower, an available 1,000-mile extended range option, futuristic steer-by-wire technology, a massive 21-inch rear TV, an augmented reality HUD, and 6 massaging captain's chairs. If this exact car had a Mercedes-Maybach badge slapped on the hood, it would easily cost you $180,000. If it had a Land Rover badge, you would be paying $150,000 and praying that the check engine light didn't randomly come on during the drive home. So what exactly does the XPeng GX cost? The official pre-sale price in China was just launched at 399,800 yuan. If you convert that directly to US dollars, it is roughly $58,800. Are you actually kidding me right now? $58,000. Do you know what $58,000 buys you in America right now? It buys you a mid-level, boring Toyota Highlander hybrid with a plastic interior. It is an absolute downright joke. The value composition of this Chinese SUV is so entirely mind-blowing that it almost feels like a glitch in the global economy. And like I said at the very beginning of the video, XPeng is rapidly expanding their footprint globally. They are already pushing incredibly hard into Europe and Australia, and the rumors heavily point to them entering the Canadian market very soon, which means our neighbors right up north might be cruising around in these 1,000-mile futuristic starships, while we here in the States are still paying $90,000 for outdated, clunky legacy SUVs with half the technology. So I have to ask you, and I really want you to be brutally honest in the comments down below, if XPeng magically brought the GX to the United States tomorrow and you could get this exact 1,000-mile Range Rover killing SUV with all of this insane tech for under $60,000, would you instantly trade in your current car for one? Or are you blindly sticking with American and European brands no matter what the price tag says? Drop your answer in the comments right now because I genuinely want to know where you guys stand on this massive shift in the industry. Look, whether you love the idea of Chinese EVs or you absolutely hate them, you cannot deny the harsh reality. The tech is moving at lightning speed, and if our domestic legacy automakers don't wake up, smell the coffee, and start innovating incredibly fast, they are going to get completely and utterly left behind in the dust. If you guys enjoyed this massive deep dive into the XPeng GX, do me a huge favor and absolutely smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. Make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification turned on because next week we are looking at a brand new battery tech that genuinely might bankrupt legacy auto and you will not want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there on the roads and I will see you gearheads in the next one.